Alright, I'm cutting these logs to make raised beds to plant some vegetables, and I'll show you the beds in a bit. But what I have going on in here is I'm using this battery powered chainsaw. I've already cut these trees and now I'm breaking it up into logs, and I'll use these logs to form the raised beds. So these ones that I have already cut are 8 feet logs, and the size of the raised bed is 4 feet. So I have a couple of the 8 feet. I think I have 4 already. I'm going to cut about 6 of them for 2 beds, and then I'll cut the 4 feet size. So I'm just going to show you how I do the cuts, if I can position my phone well whilst I make the next cut. So I have my improvised tripod. You can see I just attached this piece that I made to a tree stump, and I screwed it in. But I just want to demonstrate how I make the cuts. So I can start here. So this is the battery powered chainsaw. This is the 4 amp lithium battery. So what I do is that I measure the distance from my last cut, and I measure 8 feet. So I'm now going to do voiceover because at this point my phone, which I'm using for recording, was a bit far away. But what I'm doing here is to draw the tape and then measure 8 feet and then mark with a chainsaw. So that's what I'm doing. I mark it 8 feet because the logs that I'm cutting now are 8 feet long. The bed will eventually be 8 feet by 4 feet, so I'm cutting the 8 feet logs. I'll just I was basically talking about how to use the chainsaw, but then you can look it up on YouTube. So I start the chainsaw, and then I'll make the cut. Now you normally don't move the chainsaw back and forth like I'm doing, but because my chainsaw bar is short, 12 inches, this is my workaround. After the cut, I make sure to clear the branches. So I use the chainsaw for all of that. And then I drag it and position it well, and then move to the next thing. So the remaining piece is what I will use for the 4 feet long side of the bed. I just need to make sure I get enough of the 8 feet. At this point I had about 6 of them, and I changed my mind, so I'm going to cut extra of the 8 feet, and just so that I can make enough of the beds. I plan to build, do some on the other side. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Then that will be it. I'll show you the bed that I'm making, but for now I'm just cutting the logs, and I'm cutting it from these dead trees. So these trees are all dead. There was a fire here and they bent down all the bush. I think they are going to plant crops. This is like it's meant to be a garden, so they are going to clear and burn them anyway. So I want to just extract the logs and then use it for my raised bed. So I'll show you in a bit how I set it up. This is a battery powered Inco chainsaw. It has a 12-inch bar, and you just plug in your battery, add in oil from the side here, make sure it's always lubricated, and then you just press this safety and then press the trigger, and then it runs. So I'll turn it on. It has a green light, and then I'll press the safety, and then I'm just going to show you how it works. pretty neat. This is the type of bed that I am making. I use the logs to raise it up, and then I fill it with dirt. So you can see from the side, that is a 4 feet span, and this is 8 feet, so 4 by 8. And I do make cuts for them to interlock where necessary. I've sown some seeds here, so they should germinate real soon for onions. And I'm going to make more, one here, another one here, and then I'll finish this thing up. So I'm going to have 4 eventually, and I'll use 2 of them for onions, and then 1 for carrot, and then I'll see what I will do with the third one. I might use the 2 of them for carrot as well, but we will see. I'm not really a fan of carrot, and the carrot is a bit tricky, so I would want to experiment before I use the whole space for it, but we'll see. So that's why I'm cutting all the logs to make these raised beds right at the side of the house. Pretty much it.